Hey everybody, this is Pooka back with round 3 of the Glendale, Wisconsin Battle Road. This round we got Yoshi Tate on the left, a player we've featured quite a few times on our videos. He's very, very good, always comes up with these innovative decks, always got some crazy stuff going on. And on the right we have Phil Hollenberg once again with the Zoroark, Darkrai, Sableye deck. So we'll see how this goes. You know, Yoshi's always got something up his sleeve. Whether it's a crazy, crazy rogue deck or just some weird techs in a standard deck, he always seems to come up with something new. And right off the bat, he's starting off with a Stunfisk. I know you can't really see it because the glare is just terrible. Seems to be getting worse every round. But it's a Stunfisk versus a Zorua, the one with Ascension. And there's a Sableye on the bench and a Darkrai EX. So I know it's tough to see everything with the glare, but I'll try to guide you through everything here. Phil plays a level ball for another Zorua. He's going to be wanting to get as many dark Pokemon in play as possible, as quickly as possible, so that he can fuel that brutal bash from Zoroark, which does 20 damage times the number of dark Pokemon in play. And he actually starts off with a double colorless on the Zorua and a dark claw, so he actually hits the Stunfisk for 40. Turn 1. Don't see that very often, to be honest. I didn't think Zorua could be so powerful on the first turn, but apparently it can. And we'll see how Yoshi responds. It does not look like he has another basic. He has a Bianca and a catcher. He has 2 catchers, actually. So, this is one of those terrible spots where you're like, okay, I don't want to waste 2 catchers, because if I do, I'm probably going to lose, because I don't have my catchers the rest of the game. But if I don't draw a basic, which I need to play out cards to use my Bianca to draw cards, so if I don't play the catchers, I'm not going to be able to draw cards in order to get another basic in play, and then I'm going to lose anyway. So what do? Do you play your other catcher, try to draw 3, or just take the 2 cards and hope for the best? Because if he plays the Bianca right now, he'll be getting 2. He's already kind of wasted a catcher. And yet he decides, alright, I need to just kind of take the risk, go for it. And no basic. So, if Phil gets a Zoroark and a Dark Energy to retreat, he's actually going to win. Now, the bright side for Yoshi is that Phil actually didn't play any supporter. So maybe Phil doesn't have anything. He also didn't have a Dark Energy. If he did, he would have just played it to Ascension, probably. So I think Yoshi might be able to survive here. But it's very scary. It could just be game over for him. All he has is that Stunfisk. He's going to hit the Zorua for 40. And then the other Zorua for 20. And we'll see if Phil gets anything to pull off this win here. Now, this is actually a kind of a scary thing for Phil. If he does not evolve to Zoroark this turn, Yoshi can get a double knockout with the Muddy Water on Stunfisk. He can catch her out that Zorua that has 20 on it. And yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Wow. So Yoshi's actually going to go from a super scary spot where I might lose. And is that a Bronzor? Yes, it is. It's a super scary spot where he might just straight up lose this turn to, wow, I'm going to get a turn 2 double knockout on Zoruas. So things are looking up for Yoshi. Like I said before, he always finds weird things to include in decks, and it looks like he's playing the heal block Bronzong in this deck to prevent max potion and such. So, I don't know where this guy gets his ideas from, but he's always got something brewing. Alright, now he's going to attach energy. He still needs another basic. I mean, he does not have a basic Pokemon in his hand. If he gets knocked out, he still loses the game. But he's going to catch that other Zorua. He can knock that out and the bench one with Muddy Water. So Stunfisk is laying the hurt on Phil so far. And Yoshi draws 2 more energy. Are you kidding me? He has a whole lot of nothing. But he's going to take 2 prizes. Maybe he'll get a basic out of those. And no. 2 more trainers that he can't really use. Phil is just going to put down a Zorua and Super Rod. And he doesn't have anything either, though. So, I mean, is Phil just going to lose to a Stunfisk? Can Yoshi actually get more than 1 Pokemon in play? Both of these guys are living on the edge here. And, oh, looks like Phil got the Juniper. He's got a shot to win in these next 2 turns. I don't think he'll be able to pull it off this turn. That would be a little much. But next turn, he could very well get a Zoroark and Brutal Bash for a knockout. The only way he could really win here is some super crazy shenanigans where he pulls off like a switch or an energy switch, and then he has to Ultra Ball away a Dark and then Dark Patch, or Ultra Ball away 2 Darks and double Dark Patch. It's just not really feasible. He could pull it off, but it's probably not going to happen. And it looks like he doesn't have an energy at all. So Yoshi, what is going on? Draws another energy. How many energy does this guy play? He does not have anything besides energy. I think he has an energy search, so he might just want to play that to thin out his deck. But it looks like he's just gonna rumble for 40. And Phil top decks a dark energy. He's got an N in his hand. Does he want to play it though? He knows Yoshi has nothing, but if Phil has nothing too, then yes, you go ahead and play the N. He does have a Zoroark, so the pressure is kind of on Yoshi here. Phil does have an Ultra Ball as well. Looks like he's going to discard a Dark Patch and an N. That's 2 Dark Patches gone, but he can Junk Hunt for those if he really needs to. Yep, he's going to discard those 2. Probably just going to grab another basic, maybe another Sableye, or actually a Zoroark. Interesting choice. I can't remember if he played that down this turn, but either way, it should be fine. Let's see. Did he play it down last turn? Probably. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And now, I'm actually surprised Phil didn't go for another Dark Basic Pokemon, just to get more for Brutal Bash, since it's so difficult to find all that stuff. But now, let's see, does he have another supporter? I'm sure he does if he discarded that N. So he probably has like a Juniper or a Bianca sitting in his hand. And yeah, there's a Bianca. He's going to go ahead and draw 5. So it's 3, 4... 5, 6 cards in hand. Now, really, Yoshi is just going to have to top deck something immediately. And Phil is actually going to opt to Confuse Ray instead of Junk Hunt here. Interesting decision. Maybe he's thinking about it. And wait a second. So Phil, let's see, we're having a dispute here. I believe they're saying that Phil played 2 supporters this turn. Played the Juniper and then the Bianca. Uh-oh. So this could be a problem. I'm not sure how they're going to resolve this. It's actually really interesting. So I actually don't know how they're going to resolve this, but if I remember correctly, Phil just played the Bianca this turn, so I don't think there's anything wrong. Maybe they both thought, oops, Phil played a Juniper and now he played a Bianca. But actually, Phil did nothing wrong. He only played 1 supporter this turn. This does happen sometimes, though, where you're like, yeah, you're right, I did play 2 supporters this turn. Sorry, I screwed up. You both get nervous, you both remember the wrong thing. You're both like, yeah, it seems like, yes, I did play 2 supporters, I apologize, how do we resolve this? But in reality, Phil did nothing wrong, he didn't play a Juniper this turn, not that I'm aware of. Maybe you guys can let me know, but I'm pretty sure that he didn't do anything wrong. Looks like they're going to resolve it by just shuffling the 5 cards back into Phil's deck. And I don't know if there will be a further penalty for that. It's a weird situation. Yes, he gets to see 5 of his cards, but at the same time, his deck order should be random, so shuffling the deck's contents shouldn't really matter that much. So this can range anywhere from a prize penalty to a game loss. Maybe if the judge is feeling especially nice, it might just be a warning. But at the very least, it should be a prize loss if they rule that it was 2 supporters. But in reality, this should be no penalty. Phil did nothing wrong, and we're just kind of having this dispute for no real reason. But we'll see what happens from here. It's kind of an unfortunate circumstance. I wish we could have taken a look at this video at the time, but it looked like both guys were pretty sure that 2 supporters were played. Of course, you can only play 1 per turn. We're just lucky that it wasn't an N that would shuffle in Phil's hand. That would have made things a lot worse. You can't grab the contents of your hand back out of the deck. But since he just drew 5 from the top and separated the 5 from the one that was already in his hand, we knew what 5 cards were not in his hand from the start. We knew he had the Bianca, and the one remaining card in his hand appeared to be a Darkrai. So he set the 5 cards that he drew aside, and we just shuffled them back in. We'll see. I'm not sure how long this is going to take to resolve. I'm sure Yoshi would like a pretty severe penalty for something like this. I mean, you would think your opponent knows what's in his deck at this point. He searched it many times, but technically the deck is supposed to be private information, private knowledge. So he got to see 5 cards on top of his deck. Maybe that impacts how he plays it. It's a tough spot to call for a judge. You really don't want to give a game loss in these sorts of situations, especially at a low-level tournament like a Battle Road. This is supposed to be a casual environment, even though there are championship points on the line. You want this to be a friendly tournament. You don't want any harsh penalties. For higher level events like city, states, regionals higher than that, the penalties get much more severe because, you know, it's a higher level of competition. You're expected to know the rules at that point. You're punished more for mistakes. So here, I don't know what's going to happen. It looks like Yoshi will get a prize. So it will be a prize penalty. And Phil will just return the Bianca to his hand. And then Confuse Ray. It's going to do 0 damage because of the Eviolite, but he's going to go for the Confusion. Now, it looks like maybe this will impact the game, but Yoshi still does not draw a basic. He didn't even get one from his prize. So maybe Phil will just end up winning anyway, which, I mean, he kind of should. That penalty shouldn't have happened. I'm not saying he should just win because of that situation, but it might be a little bit of karma if he does end up winning, just because, well, it was an unfair penalty, I think. If he did play the Juniper, then I apologize, I'm way off base, but I don't think he did. So Yoshi, he somehow has drawn like 20 cards, and he does not have a second basic. Maybe he's just playing the solo Stunfisk deck. 1 Stunfisk, 59 other cards. It's certainly what it's looking like right now. He's just playing the other cards to throw his opponent off when he mulligans, you know. He's got the Dark Energy, the Energy Switch, so he's like, yeah, you don't know what's going to come next. But in reality, it's just a Stunfisk. And it looks like... Alright, he's just going to pass, actually. And we got a Dark Claw on the Zoroark. He didn't want to give Phil the option to get a Dark Energy in the discard pile for Dark Patch. And now Phil just draws a double colorless. He wins the game, and there it is. He's got it. He draws it off the 5th card there. He's got 2 in his hand, actually. So that's going to be it. All he's got to do is retreat and Brutal Bash for the game. He's got the Dark Claw already. There's 40 on the Stunfisk. He's just going to fill his bench to say, you know what, I just want to make sure I get the damage right. And now here comes Zoroark. That's going to be it. Brutal Bash. And he'll take the game. That's 120 damage to that poor Stunfisk. And Yoshi, well, he finally would have drawn a Pokemon, but that's it. The solo Stunfisk goes down. Really, really weird game. That really could have gone either way, even though Yoshi didn't have anything besides a Stunfisk the whole time. Messy situation with a penalty, but in the end, Phil will move on to 3-0. Yoshi gets an ugly game, and he will be 2-1. And we'll see what other crazy stuff can happen at this Battle Road. We've had some weird games so far. Phil gets some weird wins. But hey, that's Pokemon sometimes. So thanks for watching, guys. That was a strange game. But we'll have 3 more rounds from here from the Glendale, Wisconsin Battle Road. So thanks for watching, guys. I've been Pooka, and I'll see you guys next time.